When the invitation arrived, I swear it wasn't just paper. It was this gorgeous, intricate piece of art. My friend Rohan was getting married. And he wanted me, his very Canadian friend, to be there, in India, for the whole thing. My first thought? Heck yes. My second thought? What in the world do I wear to an Indian wedding? The invitation itself felt like a trailer for a blockbuster movie I had no idea how to prepare for. It wasn't just an invite. It felt like a golden ticket to a world I had only seen in Bollywood films, complete with epic dance numbers and probably a dramatic slow-motion run through a field of flowers. My excitement was through the roof, but let's be real, so was my anxiety. I started Googling like my life depended on it. What do foreigners wear to Indian weddings? How long is an Indian wedding? Is it okay to eat with my left hand? I packed every colorful piece of clothing I owned, which wasn't much, and prepared myself for an adventure. Boarding that plane to Delhi felt like jumping off a cliff, but in a good way. The moment I stepped out of the car at the wedding venue, it was like the world switched from standard definition to 4K Ultra HD. It was a full-on sensory tsunami, and I was happily drowning in it. The air was thick with the smell of marigold's jasmine mixed with the tantalizing aroma of spices from the food stalls. A live band was playing, the DHL drum beating a rhythm that went straight to my soul. It wasn't just background music. It was a heartbeat that the entire celebration moved to. I saw people dancing with an energy that could power a small city. Then there were the colors. Oh, the colors. Sapphire blue, emerald green, ruby red, sunshine yellow. Men looked regal in their sherwanis and colorful turbans. Even the decorations were over the top in the best way possible, with flowing fabrics, twinkling lights, and flowers absolutely everywhere. The people were just as vibrant as their clothes. I was immediately greeted by Rohan's uncle. He put his hands together in a respectful namaste, then pulled me into a huge bear hug like I was family. Within minutes, a cousin handed me a drink, and an auntie was asking me if I had eaten yet. I just stood there for a second, taking it all in, a massive grin plastered on my face. The wedding wasn't just one day, it was a marathon of incredible events. First up was the mehendi ceremony. I watched as intricate henna designs were expertly painted onto the bride's hands and feet. They told me the darker the henna stain, the deeper the husband's love would be. I even got a small design on my own hand. Next came the haldi ceremony, and this one was wild. One by one, family and friends came up to smear a turmeric paste on their faces and arms. At first I watched, but soon Rohan's mom beckoned me over. Before I knew it, I had a handful of the bright yellow paste and was gently dabbing it on my friend's cheek. Everyone cheered, and suddenly I was in the middle of a playful turmeric paste fight. The main wedding ceremony, the viva, was the most fascinating part. It took place under a beautiful canopy called a mandap. The priest chanted in Sanskrit. There were so many symbolic rituals. The couple exchanged flower garlands, took 7 steps around a sacred fire, and made promises to each other. For the main ceremony, I borrowed a beautiful lehenga. Getting dressed was a team effort. They loaded me up with bangles and a bindi. I felt like a princess. Seeing the bride in her breathtaking red and gold lehenga, adorned with so much jewelry she glittered with every move, was a sight I'll never forget. You could feel the weight and beauty of thousands of years of tradition in that one moment. It wasn't just a dress. It was a masterpiece that told a story of heritage and celebration. It was so much more intense and spiritual than a simple I do. Being the only foreigner in a sea of locals definitely came with its challenges. My biggest struggle? The food. Not the taste. It was heavenly. But the eating process. I watched everyone expertly use pieces of naan bread to scoop up curries. I tried to copy them, but my first attempt ended with dal all over my fingers and a very messy lehenga. An elderly woman sitting next to me just chuckled, then patiently showed me the proper technique. A little fold here, a pinch there. The Barat, which is the groom's wedding procession, was insane. Rohan arrived on a white horse. They pulled me into the circle, and I tried my best to copy the Bhangra moves. I'm pretty sure I looked like a malfunctioning robot, all flailing arms and awkward shoulder shrugs. But nobody cared. They just cheered me on, laughing with me, not at me. In that moment, I realized that joy is a universal language, and my terrible dancing was just my accent. At one point, someone tried to explain the significance of stealing the groom's shoes, a playful tradition called Jota Chupai. I was so lost. They were talking about ransoming shoes for money, and I was just nodding along, pretending I understood. Later, when the groom's cousins triumphantly showed me a wad of cash they'd received for the safe return of the shoes, we all just burst out laughing at my bewildered expression. I had practiced the phrase Aap Bahut Sundarhain, you are very beautiful. But in my nervousness, I must have gotten the pronunciation wrong. The sweet old lady gave me a confused look, then started laughing uncontrollably before patting my cheek. Her grandson later explained that I had accidentally said something closer to, you are a laundry basket. Instead of being offended, they thought it was the most hilarious thing ever. It became a running joke for the rest of the wedding, and a perfect example of how my stumbles were met with grace and humor. As the final ceremonies wrapped up, I felt a strange mix of exhaustion and pure happiness. I had survived the multi-day marathon. More than that, I had lived it. The hosts, Rohan's parents, treated me like one of their own. They made sure I always had a plate full of delicious food. Spicy chaat, sweet gulab jamun. They constantly checked in to make sure I was having a good time. I made so many new friends. I bonded with cousins over our shared inability to drape a sari correctly. I talked for hours with an uncle about the differences between Canadian and Indian politics. I learned dance moves from a group of teenagers who were far cooler than I'll ever be. My favorite moment was during the Sangeet night. It's a night dedicated to music and dance. After choreographed performances, the DJ opened the floor to everyone. Bollywood hits, Western pop, toddlers, and grandparents dancing. I danced for hours, completely losing myself in the rhythm and the collective joy. In that sweaty, loud, and chaotic moment, I didn't feel like a foreigner. I just felt like part of the celebration, part of the family. Leaving the wedding felt like waking up from the most vivid, colorful dream. I came with a suitcase and a lot of worries. I left with a heart full of memories and a phone full of photos, and a dozen new aunties who insisted I visit again soon. I learned that an Indian wedding is more than just a ceremony. It's a testament to family, community, and the power of tradition. It's loud, it's chaotic, it's long, and it's one of the most beautiful expressions of love I have ever witnessed. It was an unforgettable experience that didn't just show me a new culture. It let me live inside it for a few magical days.